All right, this video is going to be all about how to extract deal flow and lead flow from your existing network. People you do business with on a daily basis, all day, every day, how to get them to start sending you off-market deal flow for your real estate portfolio. I like just talking. All right, so there are already people in your network, people that you do business with on a regular basis who have access to deals, who have access to opportunities, who have access to money and deal flow and potential team members or joint venture partners, things that can help you grow your real estate portfolio. The only problem is they don't know that you're looking for it. And so that's number one. You gotta be willing to have the conversations and reach out to people. Life and sales and success is all about prospecting. Prospecting for a spouse, prospecting for money, prospecting for deal flow, prospecting for a job, prospecting for any of those things all comes from prospecting and having the conversations and being willing to get out of your comfort zone a little bit in order to then have those conversations and see where they lead to. So I'm gonna give you about a dozen different people that are in your real estate network already that you should be having conversations with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to ensure that they know exactly what you're looking for as far as deal flow and money flow. Listen, I'm gonna put an action plan at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around to the end and put it to work. All right, the first one is title companies. They have deals coming through all day, every day. They're seeing deals that get closed. They know the sellers who just put a bunch of money in their pocket. They see deals that don't get closed. And they see sellers who didn't get to sell their property and now are very motivated because they've already mentally spent that cash in their mind. So reaching out to title companies and letting them know that you are a buyer of real estate and you are a borrower of real estate allows you to then stay in their network, and they can then offer some referrals, and you say, hey, I'll close the deal with you. I'll put all my title insurance through you. I'll make sure that you get the transactions when I buy, when I sell on this deal for any referrals that you give me. That's a great value add to title companies, and they can offer a great value add to you. Another great lead source is your commercial mortgage broker. So my mortgage broker has signed up deals for other clients of his that then couldn't get to the finish line. For example, one time, the two partners who were the loan sponsors on an acquisition that he was handling, he sized up the loan, got the lender ready to go. Everything was great with the property, but the two partners got into a quarrel and a lawsuit, and the lender's like, we're not gonna loan to those guys. And so the deal went south with those two buyers, but my mortgage broker was able to reach out to the lender and said, hey, you don't have any issue with the underlying asset. What if I brought a different loan sponsor and a different operator to the deal? And they said, yeah, we do it. So he already did all the work. He reached out to me on a deal that fell apart. I came in, I liked it. I signed on the loan, took down that deal. We repositioned, it was a storage facility in Florida. We repositioned it, sold it for $1.1 million more, less than 18 months later. It's a great win for us, great win for our investors, great win for him because he got paid on it as well for all the work that he did just because he was able to make that introduction. So reach out to your mortgage broker and make sure that they know that you're interested in stepping in on deals that might need either a loan sponsor if you're willing to do that for somebody else, or deals that fall apart that you could then take over and step in and acquire those properties as long as it's a good deal in a decent area and everything makes sense financially. If for any reason the buyer walks, you can step in and take their place. Management companies is another great one. Management companies kind of feel like a punching bag. I used to own a management company. We in-house manage. Now we don't do anything for third party, but I used to have a third party management company in Cleveland, Ohio, and we managed 600-700 doors at the time, and you feel like a punching bag all the time. The city doesn't like you, the tenants don't like you, the owners don't like you. It's nothing but a headache. And the hardest properties to manage were the ones where the landlords weren't contributing, where the owners weren't contributing to a capital call, they needed to fix something, they wouldn't send money in, and all of a sudden the tenant's upset, the city's upset, and the management company's the one taking all the heat for it. So if you reach out to management companies, the conversation I'd have with them is, who are the problematic owners that you're dealing with, right? What are the problem properties? Who are the problem owners who aren't contributing? And by me coming in, I'll buy that property. I'll let you broker it so you make a fee, and I'll maintain management with you so you continue making the management fees on it. And I'll be a good owner. I'll contribute. I'll make sure that the house is clean, safe, functional, and we're screening the tenants, and we got good people in place. Now all of a sudden your life is easier, you're making more money, and now we have a win-win situation for everyone. So management companies is a great place to build some networks and build some relationships. Another great one is commercial contractors or tradesmen, right? These are the companies that are supporting commercial assets. Like, think about landscapers, think about the coin-operated laundry operators, think about the exterminators that are going out to each of the different properties. They know who the owners are, or they know at least who the management companies are, and they have those relationships built. I've gotten a whole bunch of deals, both from my exterminator, from my coin-operated laundry guy, and from my landscapers, sending me opportunities of saying, hey, this person's not paying their bills. This person, I talked to them, they're not selling this property, but they're selling another property that they manage or that they own. And I've gotten a lot of lead sources that way. Some of them played out, some of them did not play out, but the beauty of it is it was all off market, it was all under the radar. I was not competing with brokers or realtors or other buyers. I was able to go directly to the owner and have a conversation with them of saying, hey, can we make the numbers work for you? Can we make the numbers work for me? And can that exterminator or landscaper or coin-operated laundry business owner maintain that contract by me coming in and buying that property? So make sure that you're reaching out to all the different tradespeople who are working on commercial properties in your area. Develop those relationships. Promise them that they'll continue making the contract, that they'll continue making the residual money on the billing that they have for the work that they do at that property. And now they're incentivized to start sending you lead flow. Another place that I've gotten deals is my commercial insurance agent. I mean, they insure all these commercial properties. When somebody's selling, they know that the insurance is going to be canceled. So by you telling that insurance agent that you're a buyer of commercial properties, maybe it's all commercial properties, maybe it's certain asset classes of commercial properties, they'll be reaching out to you and you'll be able to make an offer. That's a nice warm introduction from somebody that's probably pretty trusted by the owner. Their insurance agent, they look to for advice and direction on the insurance side of things. It can be a vulnerable subject sometimes. They intimately are familiar with the property, with the condition of the property, how it's maintained, all those kinds of things. And they're able to set you up with a conversation with the owner and or the seller. You can get all the detail and all the under the radar. How many claims have there been in the past, right? What's the age of the roof? What's the age of the electric? What's the age of the plumbing? And really understand the condition of the property without buyers are liars and sellers are worse, right? Without the seller being able to pull the wool over your eyes. It gives you an inside track on what that property looks like. A couple of obvious ones are real estate agents and brokers, right? The key there though is making sure that they know that you're in buying mode all the time, right? Reaching out to them saying, hey, I'm looking for a deal. If you come across anything that's on market or off market, I'll still pay you a commission. I'll still pay you a fee or even roll you into equity on the buy side. And whatever the buying entity is, you can carve out a couple of points of equity for them. And now they can trade their transactional income for some long-term wealth building, right? And get out of that rat race of trading their time for money. It lets them become a little part of an owner, right? And then they have a taste of that. And it's a big value add that they don't normally have access to. Okay, so we're about halfway through what we've done so far. Remember, I have an action plan at the end of this, so stick around until the very end so that way you can put the action plan in place and convert these ideas into dollars. Investors, flippers, and wholesalers. Well, yeah, obviously, I know I get deals from them all the time. I got majority of my deals when I was building my first 300, 400, 500 doors from residential flippers, from residential wholesalers, and residential investors who didn't know how to underwrite, didn't know what to do with a commercial real estate asset. And so they just kind of discarded those leads because it's not something that they would buy. And by me staying top of mind and me staying relevant and staying in their inbox or staying on social media in front of them and always talking about me buying apartment buildings, I started getting lead flow from those residential wholesalers and flippers and investors. I then got those deals. I kicked them a wholesale fee. I kicked them some equity in the deal, whatever it needed to look like in order to make it a win for them. And they're now able to monetize leads that they were not able to monetize before. So that's a really good one and where I got a lot of lead flow in my first few hundred units. Real estate attorneys, like this is an obvious one. They're dealing with landlords every single day, whether that's an eviction court or putting lease agreements together or dealing with zoning issues. They know who's a motivated seller, and you can tell them that you're a motivated buyer. So as they're dealing with their clients and as they're working with different clients, you just let them know, hey, if you make any referrals to me, I'll either pay you a fee. Real estate attorneys can earn a commission in most states. So even though they're not licensed realtors or licensed brokers, being seen as somebody who passed the bar exam in most states, they can actually earn a fee. So you can pay them a commission, kind of like the same way that you would pay a realtor in order for them to refer deals to you. And or just promise them additional business, right? Hey, I'll let you handle all the evictions. I'll let you handle all the contract work. I'll let you handle blah, 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 or whatever that looks like. So real estate attorneys are a great source of lead flow. Another attorney that's a great source of lead flow is divorce attorneys. One of my first deals when I first started wholesaling and investing in residential real estate was through a divorce attorney. He represented a couple that could not finalize their divorce until they liquidated all their assets. And they had a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, which today doesn't have a single home in the entire community of 130,000 people that's less than about $500,000. And I was able to buy that deal from a divorced couple for $100,000. That opened me up to, there's a lot of motivated sellers out there who need to get out of their property, and instead of going and trying to find directly who that motivated seller is, a lot of times finding the catalyst who can make the introduction or has those conversations happening with a lot of those motivated sellers all the time, because that's their source of business and that's how they do business. Like a divorce attorney, you make the connection with the divorce attorney, then they can put you in contact with all the people that they represent who need to liquidate their assets before they finalize their divorce. Similarly to divorce attorneys, there's probate attorneys. And probate attorneys, essentially, when someone passes away, the probate attorney handles it. They help disperse all the assets and divest of the assets so that way they can give money or the assets to the heirs of the estate. And so a probate attorney knows who passed away, right? They know that there's 5 kids divvying up a $400,000 house or a $1 million apartment complex, and everybody's gonna get a $200,000 slug of cash when it sells. The thing there is it's free money to the heirs of the estate. And so a lot of times in a probate, it turns into you being able to come in and maybe you make an $800,000 offer. And instead of everybody getting $200,000 when the property sells, you come in at $800,000, everybody gets $160,000. It's not that big of a needle mover for them when you start dividing it out across multiple heirs or multiple kids who are inheriting this money. And many times they just want the cash, right? Most people already have this cash spent in their head before they ever actually receive it. So they just want to receive the cash. So it creates a great opportunity for you to come in and say, hey, I'll move quickly on this thing. You don't have to list it with an agent. It's going to save you 10% right there. You don't have to take on the carrying cost of it over the course of the next 90 or 180 days. I have a solution for you in the next 30 days to liquidate this thing, take the cash, be on your way. There's definitely ways that you can create relationships with probate attorneys too in order to provide a solution to their clients, and that makes a probate attorney look like a rock star just by you being able to come in and provide a huge benefit and a huge service to their own clients. In a past video, I talked about eviction courts. That's a great place to go and just network and figure out who the landlords are, who the property managers are, who the real estate attorneys are that are in that room dealing with problematic tenants, that they're dealing with evictions all the time, handing out a business card or just introducing yourself, pressing palms a little bit in order to let them know that you're willing to buy problematic properties with problematic tenants in place, assuming that is something that you want to do. That's a great place to find a lot of motivated sellers. And finally, one of the last things that I would mention would be your CPA. Your CPA knows who's making money and who's not making money. But do they know that you're out there looking to buy property from landlords who might be motivated sellers? Make sure that they know what you do, how you do it, and that you're willing to buy more properties. And if they know of anybody who's ever looking to sell, they should definitely connect with you. I've gotten deal flow from my CPAs. I remember one deal specifically was like a grand slam of a deal. I didn't end up snagging it. They ended up figuring out another solution where they were able to keep it, but that one could have been a very, very attractive deal in order to take down. But if my CPA didn't know that I was buying deals, he would have never even brought it to me in the first place, and I would have never been able to swing the bat at it and make an offer on it. So regardless of that deal not going through, I'm thankful that I was able to make an offer because my CPA saw that, I not only said what I was going to do, but I actually did what I was going to do and made an offer on that property, made them look like a great resource to their client who was looking to sell that property. Again, they didn't end up selling it, but that CPA being able to say, I know a guy, made them kind of edified their position a little bit as their financial professional. So I just gave you about a dozen different ideas, dozen different people in your network to reach out to. Now here's where the work comes in. This is the action plan that I wanted to share, is actually reach out to them. I would be very intentional over the next 2 weeks. And over the next 2 weeks, reach out to a minimum of 3 people that fall in each one of those categories. 3 management companies, 3 title companies, 3 real estate attorneys, 3 probate attorneys, 3 CPAs. Go down the list and reach out to 3 each day. That means you'll have reached out to almost 40 different groups or businesses that can be lead sources and lead generators for you in your real estate business. Do that over the next 2 weeks and see how things compound over the next several months. Start planting those seeds and cultivating those relationships, cultivating those seeds, and eventually the harvest will come. So hopefully you got some good takeaways from that. I'd love to hear what some of your favorite connections are, or where some other places are that you generated lead flow through your existing network. Put it in the comments below. I love seeing this stuff. If you have any questions on anything that I said, please just ask that in the comments below, and I'll create some additional content answering those questions and tagging you in those answers. So I appreciate you being here. Until next time, be your best.